Just so you guys understand, the yeshiva that I went to, where I met Rav Micha, has cameras, 4 or 5 cameras set up in the Beit Midrash, connected to microphones that run wires underneath the table. The Rav sits down, presses a button, everything starts recording. After that, it's edited, uploaded to YouTube, to the Israeli TV network, like cable TV.
They have cable TV there?
Meir
It's on there.
It's a TV channel.
I didn't realize
they have a TV channel. And like the shiurim are played, like rebroadcasted on TV.
Right.
So that's the ruach that we're in. Everything's recorded. Everything is.
Yeah, it's not bad. I didn't want to. At first, I was like uncomfortable with it. Who am I to put you? And but I did it. And then after like a couple of months, I just stopped. I said at the beginning of the year, I said I'm not really comfortable with recording. And then one book he just got in there. He said, Rabbi, if they didn't record your shiur, I wouldn't be here. It's it's unbelievable. It's just a different. One time there was an engagement party. One of the Bachrim got engaged, and the engagement party was in Netivot. And so everybody went. But I had a shiur. So I was thinking about I didn't know maybe somebody was going to come. So I gave shiur. Nobody was there. It was an empty classroom. I was like just vowing that nobody would walk into the classroom in the middle, see this rabbi giving a shiur to an empty classroom. And
it happens here a lot.
Right, but that's it's the Gavona. That's one thing. Here it's like a classroom. He's up on the thing, right? And sure enough, like one French student came in. He left the book there earlier in the day and he's like looking around like what's going on here. But then it's a mashal. It's not much a mashal. So afterwards, they put it on the internet. I know, I'll never forget because with the Ramachal's yard side, nobody was in the shiur. So they used to have a thing on the computer. They would say how many people watched the shiur. So more than 300 people watched that shiur. So it's a mush. What you're doing, you think nobody notices. You think you have no hashpah. You think you're touching a lot of neshamas. It doesn't. You don't have to test it through the camera and on the YouTube. That's just that, right? But so I put out the sefer recently. It's Sha'arei HaBa'al Shem Tov. It's a zechut of the Torahs of the Ba'al Shem Tov that are shav and the kol nefesh that are understandable by everybody, because most of the likutim of the Ba'al Shem Tov's Torahs they don't flow. Because it's a likud, it's just they gather from here and here, and one piece might be super kabbalistic and without any intention that it should have ever been something in avodah for everybody. It was maybe for the avodah tzaddikim, and then right next it could be something like a story or a remez, and the next could be a relatable piece. So because it doesn't have a flow, so that's what I decided to do to try to gather the main yesodis that every yid can understand and relate to, and there's one of my rabbanim, Rav Stavsky, he said he has a very beautiful term that he uses for the Zohar HaKodesh. He says it's Torah HaNashikos, Torah HaNashikot. Because if you learn the Zohar, besides the fact that they're never really in the base medrash, they're always they're always being mitayel, like Eliyahu was teaching us about the tiyul. Physical tiyulim, spiritual tiyulim, I'm not sure, but they were always going b'derech, and they would always meet people. And then they would do like Rav Noah said, say Zugepis, say a Torah, and then all the time they're kissing each other on the head. Such a beautiful Torah. If I only came to this world to hear this one Torah, that's enough. And they would kiss each other. There's a tremendous dveikus with the just presence with the Torah that they were learning and the kira that they had. So if I would summarize my relationship as it stands right now with the Torah of Ba'al Shem Tov, it's Torah Rachmanis, Torah Rachamim, right? And there's something about, remember when I first went to Medjugorje, and I was with the Yid who we went to Uman, then we went to Medjugorje, and Uman, this is a Yid like not connected to Breslov. Like I wouldn't go so far as to say anti, but a little bit of an allergy. And so he wasn't so happy in Uman, and we got to Medjugorje, and he said, Zayde. He's like happy to be home with the Saba, There's something that's so comforting about the Ba'al Shem Tov's Torahs. It's something totally different from everything else. And I think, for me at least, where I am right now, ask me in another month, I don't know, it might be elsewhere, but the Rachmanis that he has, like all the stories that we were talking about, how the Eibishter looks at his children, and how we're supposed to relate to Am Yisrael, and how we're supposed to relate to ourselves. With Rachmanis, compassion, love, empathy, right? And so when you learn these Torahs, they speak to us in a way that we already knew. We know that it's supposed to be like that. They say that when you're when a person's in the womb, so the Gemara says that there's a malach holding a candle over her head. It's two different Gemaras. One says he teaches the entire Torah, and the other one says that he shows him from one end to he can see from one end to the world to the other end. And then we come out, we forget it, and our job is to recover that Torah. So how do you, when you come upon a shtickle Torah that it really speaks to you, it resonates with you? That's emes, right? But how do you know? And what about the Torah that doesn't resonate with you, right? So there's something that's the shorish of your neshama. You hit it, you're like, I know, I've seen this before. That feeling that it resonates, I've seen this before. I feel it. I know this is emes. I don't have any proofs. Like once there was a Litvish Abocher on Purim, and I saw he was closed. It's Purim Torahs. I saw that he wasn't like opening up, and I tried to get him to make a l'chaim with me. Lo yistar mil, so didn't work. So I started talking to him, and I said, I'm sure he had l'chaims, but I said, tell me about Gemara. Tell me about learning Gemara. How does it feel for you? How do you like it? I said, I love it. He said, try to describe to me, what is it? He said, I can't describe it. He said, and he got like upset at the question. He said, did you ever eat chocolate? Yeah, he said, describe for me how it feels to eat chocolate. I said, it's good. He got me. Nitzchoni banai, right? But when it hits, there's a feeling that this is what it's supposed to be. And that Rachmanis, when you hear stories of the right, when you hear stories of like godless Torah and everything, so sometimes it can blow you away the greatness that people can reach. When you hear about the Rachmanis, it touches us in a place that's so emesdik, it's so real. And ultimately, that's the Torah. That's the Torah of Mashiach, right? And ultimately, that's the Torah that everybody is coming to. And all the brokenness that we have in our door, from everywhere, right? And all the place that everybody is coming to. Some willingly, some are embracing it, and some are being forced in chains to come to this place of rachamim, right? But we're all coming to that place, and it's really the Torah. It's really Torah of Mashiach. I should share just one little shtickle here, an amazing ma'aseh which most of you probably heard. But this one it's brought in the Avodas Avodah from the Tosha Rebbe, and there's the ma'aseh when Rav Gershon Kitov, the brother-in-law of the Ba'al Shem Tov, came to Eretz Yisrael, and he was told to go meet the Sha'ar HaYicuhd. But what's very interesting, just historically, is people don't know the Sha'ar HaYicuhd was only in Eretz Yisrael for less than a year. It was a very short time when he was in Eretz Yisrael. So, and he came at that time, and so he went to go meet him. And so he said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Rav Gershon Kitov. I'm brother-in-law with the Ba'al Shem." So he said, "The Ba'al Shem?" He said, "I'm not familiar." And he said, "Rabbi Yisrael Ba'al Shem from Medjugorje. I'm not familiar. I've never heard of him." And he understood he was trying to get him to say something, that something's not right with the way. So he kept on trying a different nusach. Rabbi Yisrael ben Eliezer, right? And finally he said, no, never heard, right? He said, Rabbi Yisrael Ba'al Shem Tov. And he said, yeah. Why didn't you say it from the beginning? And I know exactly what you're talking about. Of course, we're very close. So he was in shock. He couldn't understand it. As a matter of fact, it's interesting because a lot of Hasidim today call him Ba'al Shem HaKodesh. Not Makbid to call him Ba'al Shem Tov, right? Many Chassidim call Ba'al Shem HaKodesh. So the Sha'ar HaKodesh taught that there's something that's very important dafka about calling him Tov. So I'm just going to read this piece with you first. It says, Ba'al Shem Tov HaKodesh v'talmidav HaKdoshim המשיכו בינינו מן האור אשר יאיר באש הגאולה באלף השדות. Should I do it in Avara? Like, I could just be... So the Ba'al Shem Tov and his Talmidim were mamshich, and they enjoyed the or that's going to shine in the Geula Asida, in the future Geula. Meaning they took from the future or. Hanikra Yom Shekulo Aroich, Yom Shekulo Toy, which is called the day, like we say on Yom Tov, right? The day Shekulo, Yom Shekulo Tov, Yom Shekulo Shabbos, the Kula Aroch, it's never ending. Right? So Tov is a bitui, it's an expression of the future light. Ki ad Ba'al Shem Tov HaKodesh imshichu, this is an amazing yesod here. Ad Ba'al Shem Tov HaKodesh imshichu oid mizman hamikdash. From until the Ba'al Shem Tov HaKodesh, they were using the leftover light from the Beis HaMikdash, right? The Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, but its light still left an impression in the world, and all the sparks went flying to all the different nations of the world and all the different aratzos, right? So all the tzaddikim for all the different generations up until the Ba'al Shem Tov, they use that light. And as the years went on, the light got dimmer and dimmer because it was just farther and away from the Beis HaMikdash. Therefore, until the Ba'al Shem Tov, there was a tremendous amount of Yeridus Adoros. Even for us, when we look back at those doors, and halavai, that we could get a little taste of what it was like. Even though the Vilna Gaon said that he would trade everything just to be able to be a Yid, it'll be because of the Mashiach. Just be able to see a Yid because of the Mashiach, right? The broken ones, he didn't specify. All of us, just to be here. The Kasher Ba'al Shem Tov HaKodesh, and when the Ba'al Shem Tov came and he illuminated the entire world, al Yedei, because he drew forth the light from the future, and he shined up the entire world with that. And that's why he was marked with it. Should be Ba'al Shem Tov. That's the Indian with the Ba'al Shem Tov. There were many Ba'al Shems. This is the Ba'al Shem Tov. He brought from the light of the Yom Shekulo Tov, the day that's going to be entirely good. This is why, many hear the Maisim of the Tzaddikim, of the Chassidish Tzaddikim, and they can't believe. We haven't had Maisim like this since the time of the Mishnah. Baba Maisis, right? Like Misnagdim say on that. Why the Chassidim tell Maisim on Motzi Shabbos? Because the Gemara says that on Shabbos, even an Am Haaretz doesn't tell a lie. He said, once Shabbos comes out, so then now we can... they can't believe it. How can you believe these Maisim? Right? But we saw it, right? I know a big Rav who he was more in the derech of the Vilna Gaon, and he ended up becoming a chassid, and he says it's because of the stories. How do you come from the Litvish Welt but most of them, they don't believe those Maisim. So he said because the people that were telling these Maisim were people that were ne'eman, were huge tzaddikim. They were telling the stories. They tell even though there was many of the tzaddikim, the Chassidish tzaddikim, that also that they didn't like to tell stories, even though they themselves were Balei Moifes, and there's many stories. There's a story that I heard from Rav Moshe Weinberger. Amazing Ma'aseh, when he was in Avrech, and they when there would be a yard set for tzaddik, so they would make a tikkun. They would bring schnapps and herring or whatever, and so it was the Divrei Chaim's yard set. Sandra, and a yid came with an old, dirty bottle. This old bottle. That's Ma'aseh. It's amazing Ma'aseh. So he said, it's not like a Mefursa Ma'aseh because you see it. She said, what's the story behind this bottle? He said, my elder Zayd, my great grandfather was a Tzancha Chassid, and he had ulcers, and he was suffering terribly, and and they didn't know what to do. And so he had a korov, like an uncle or a cousin who also had ulcers. And he said, look, I went to the Rebbe, I went to the Divrei Chaim, and he gave me a bottle of chometz, of vinegar. He said, drink this entire bottle, and I'll call you Beseder. And Yeshua, he got rid of his ulcers. So he said, that's what the Rebbe told me, so you also do it. You also have Yeshua. So he drank the bottle of vinegar, and he almost died. Like the worst thing you could do. The worst thing you could possibly do. So they took him, I think the story was they took him in a bed to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe looked at him, he said, what's going on? You look terrible, what happened to you? And he said, Rebbe, this is what happened, my cousin said. And he said, shoite! Shoite! Every child knows that anybody that has ulcers, the worst thing to do is to have vinegar. You go drink a bottle of vinegar because he tells you, Baba Maises, Maiselach from the Rebbe, you're going to go. He was like, was matpid on it. He did such a thing. What is this? So he said, Rebbe, what can I do? This is where I am. The Rebbe should give me a bracha. He said, okay. Go home, take a bottle of vinegar, and drink the whole thing from start to finish. Drink it in one gulp. Bez Hashem should be with you. So he went home and he had the Yeshua. But it's a Baba Maisa then, right? Anyway, so we have these Maisim. We haven't seen Moifsim like this since the days of the Tanai. Moifsim Mufloim Ke'ele V'Gilu Yalikus, a revelation of godliness that we have had by the Tzaddikim Asher Lo Ra'u Mi'Moisa Tanai V'Amonai. We haven't seen such since the days of the Amoraim and Tanaim. There's a chidah that says, I haven't seen it inside, but I was told by an Ish Ne'eman, that there's a chidah that says that we see that there was the Tanaim, there's a Makor that says any Tana, this name is mentioned in the Gemara, it could be Machai Meisim, and the Amoraim got tremendous madregas, and then we have a little bit of a fall off, even though we can't judge or anything, but it's not from that madrega. So the chidah says that from the times of the Beis Hamikdash, that the Sanhedrin, the Tzaddikim, they saved the Efer for Paraduma, and they would spritz. Who would reach the level, they would give them a spritz, and they would be able to have such, right?
He says it about the Machon and the Arizal. He says, "Vadai they have Efer Paraduma, because it's impossible in our door to get to those kind of levels of Tanaim." Right. He says the Arizal was like a Tana.
Right.
He says it has to be that they found in the Galil Efer Paraduma, and they sprinkled it. And that's the only way they could have. And
it's a double portion. If they found the Bear Miriam and the Kinneret, there is all.
Which is even more kadum than any Torah, right?
So.
This is tomorrow, tonight.
Oh. The Chidah. So we haven't seen it. So all of a sudden, after all those years, and it comes back. These tremendous moifsim. Even though that in all those generations there were many tzaddikim goinim, kulam kedoshim, kulam toidim, they're all pure and holy. But onto this madrega and this level of gilui, lo ra'u ela etzel Ba'al Shem Tov HaKodesh v'talmidam. We've only seen this by the Ba'al Shem Tov and his talmidim. And the reason is, like we said above, ki lahem nitan min hashamayim koach laamshich es ha'or me'emois HaMashiach. Yom Shekula Shabbos, Yom Shekula Tov, because they were given permission to draw down this light from the future. Mashiach said, right? It's because to connect it, after so many years of Golas, how's a Yid supposed to hold himself up a little bit, Like we talk about we're talking about the brokenness, right? The only thing that really holds us is tikva, it's the hope. It's the hope that this is going somewhere, that this means something, that all this is building something somewhere, right? I'm doing my avodah in the room without anybody watching. The Eibishter counts it. It means something to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the yesod of all that is really rachamim. It's that Ribbon Shalom really wants of this world. We are who we are. We are, right? We're playing poker, and Ribbon Shalom is wiping the sweat off our forehead. We're all in where we are, who we are, and really it's really connected to Purim. You know what happens on Purim? Everybody is mitbasem, and then what does everybody start doing? Giving each other hugs. I love you. I have a joke in my yeshuv. In the yeshuv, so my son's 16 years old, and all the boys, they're together. They're all tough, and They grew up. I've known them since they're 1 year old, 0 years old, but but during the year, they don't want to give. I'm a very loving person during the year, so they they keep a little bit of space for me. The ones that keep the most space come in on Purim. Michale, I love you so much. I don't know if they ever said I love you in their life. Love you so much. All that comes out. It's the gilui of the rachamim, because that's the shorish of everything. That to see how Hakadosh Baruch Hu is merachem aleinu, and to come to that place. Most of the year we're in our costume, we're hiding from ourselves and from the Eibishter, and most of the year we're drunk. Right? We don't know. And the reason why we're in that state of hiddenness is because we're not really sure. We're not really 100% sure that Ba'al Shem really loves us. We're not really sure that we really love ourselves. We're not really sure that we love others. We're not really sure how to do it. So Purim comes a time that we're able to tap into it, l'mala midas, to come out of that costume, right? To come out of that shichrus. And to be in the Heilige Shikr, like Eliyahu teach me how to be a Heilige Shikr. We should be zechut, B'ez Hashem. So just a little shtickle from the Ba'al Shem Tov. Give you guys a blessing, myself a blessing, all of our Klal Yisrael a blessing. We should be zechut the mamash to come to that place, to hold on to it, to know that it's the emes, the or of the osid lavai, or yom shekula arach, yom shekula toiv. In the derech of the Ba'al Shem Tov HaKodesh and all the tzaddikim that are trying to bring his light to us in a way that we can understand and relate to.
And a bracha for Sha'ar HaYicuhd.
Sha'ar HaYicuhd is chabur, they should need many more rooms to be able to contain all the heilige Yidden that will come here, and that they should come from the south and the north and the east and the west to come to Ba'al Shem to drink the Torahs, the beautiful Zisa Torahs that are going on in this place.
It's like, to get to eat.